Hi guys, welcome back to OCD Recovery's YouTube channel. Gemma here. I wanted to do a video today about setbacks and the common mistakes that people make. So with a setback, I think the most common thing that everyone does, myself included, is think that you need to change something. So what I mean by this is if you currently have a schedule going where you've got your life structure in place, you are doing certain aspects of the work, you're currently reading the books, doing disputing work, and you become triggered and it leads to a setback, so a longer period of time of feeling anxious, or however it was displaying for you initially again. We can think that, oh, maybe doing the disputing wasn't working, or the exposures that I've been doing aren't working, or my life structure, I put too much in there, I need to cut back, I need to take something out. Or the opposite way of when you're not currently doing any work and experience a setback, I need to jump on that immediately, I need to start doing some disputing, I need to start watching videos, I need to start reading. And the reason this is a mistake is because anything you do in the moment to try and relieve anxiety is compulsive, because you're trying to change the way you're feeling. You're saying to yourself you can't handle it, essentially, and you're trying to change your current state. So if you jump into anything or jump out of anything, it's likely compulsive. And all we do by doing that is reinstill those beliefs that it's too scary, you can't handle it, you've reached the limit of your anxiety, and that's all that you can do. So it's really important when you experience that to just continue as you are, even though it feels like, well, if I had a setback when I was doing these certain things, then surely I need to change something. But that's not the case. Setbacks can come out of absolutely nowhere. They likely come from a fear of fear. So I think a lot of the time they do come from a fear of fear, particularly if you've been feeling a lot better. You can suddenly get a thought of, oh, what happens if I go back to how I was previously? That was really hard. That would be awful. I really couldn't deal with that. And then because you go back, because you do that, you essentially make yourself go back to that place, because you've said, that place is really scary and I can't possibly be there. So you're going to go back to that place. Not always, but likely. If you're still awfulizing a situation, you're still going to have those irrational beliefs around it, and that's going to make you more likely to experience it because you're so scared of it, which is natural, because then that's all that's on your mind and you're thinking about it all the time, and you're doing compulsions to try and relieve yourself of that, or doing compulsions to try and make sure that doesn't happen. You're going, well, I've missed this one day of doing recovery work. Oh my God, that's it. I'm going back to where I was. And also, I think a lot of people don't realize that just because you experience a trigger, it doesn't automatically mean that it's going to be a setback. So just because you've had a day where, something started you off and you've been feeling really anxious all day, we can immediately go into awfulizing of, this is it, this is me forever now, like I'm not going to get back out of it this time. And it's those trains of thought that take you into the chronic long-term setbacks, because you're then awfulizing, and as we know, awfulizing leads to irrational beliefs, leads to anxiety and OCD. So when you experience a setback, you need to just keep doing exactly what you're currently doing. Even if you think, well, it's obviously not working, just continue with it, just stick with it. You've got absolutely nothing to lose by just sticking with that routine for a good period of time. I would continue sticking with that routine. I mean, it's different for every person, but for a really good period of time, just to make sure that you're not doing anything whilst triggered, you're not trying to change things, you're not falling into compulsions. Because if you fall into trying to change something immediately, that's falling into a compulsion. That's avoidance, or that is trying to change the way that you're currently feeling. Setbacks can be really hard because we do feel like we're going back to square one, of course, because you haven't experienced it for such a long time, and then suddenly you're feeling exactly how you felt before. So it can feel like I'm back to square one. But there's no such thing as square one, because you've done work, you know more now than you did before you started experiencing that setback. So even though it feels like you're back at the beginning, you're not, because you've done plenty since then. I mean, not in everyone's case, but a lot of people have done a lot of work in the time between feeling a lot better and experiencing their first like big setback that makes them feel like they're back to square one. So it's really important, keep everything the same, and it's a great opportunity to practice your frustration tolerance, because you're showing yourself with these setbacks that yes, I can actually handle it, even though it feels really scary. If you've been feeling really good for a while, you may not have been tested for a while, and you can become complacent and comfortable, and these spikes are actually a really, really good opportunity to put what you've learned into practice. So thank you very much for listening, guys. And if you have any suggestions for any videos you'd like me to cover, please just pop a comment below. And if you're interested in one-to-one coaching services, just send an email to phil@ocdrecovery.com and he'll get back to you as soon as he can. Thank you.